Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today's topic, we're going to talk about how to divide in scientific notation. So let's go ahead and get started. If at any point you need to stop the video, feel free. I also have another video embedded in the PowerPoint presentation in case you need a refresher on how to divide numbers, especially numbers involving decimals. So here we go. Quick little announcements, same announcements as last time earlier this week. Keep in mind that this Friday is the end of session 5, and progress reports, believe it or not, are going to be out next week. And the last day to turn any missing work at all for trimester 3 is going to be May 6th, and we're quickly approaching our math SBAC, so the week of May. So today we're going to talk about how to divide in scientific notation. So first of all, I did give you an example. I'm not going to go over it right now, but I want you to take a moment and really remind yourself how to divide, especially dealing with numbers involving decimals. Okay, one of the biggest, most important steps when you divide today and any day is to make sure you know which number goes where. So we got our divisor and our dividend. Okay, the number that's being divided is going to go on the outside. The number that is being divided goes on the inside. Some of you I've heard refer to this as in and out. So think of in and out. This first number is going to go inside our division symbol. This last number is going to go outside. The divisor goes outside. Okay. Again, feel free to stop at any point here. If you need a refresher as you're doing today's concept, it's not that challenging. However, we might get bogged down in the division part and like, where does the decimal go? Who goes where? So if you need to slow it down and get an additional, having additional examples of how to do today's material, click on this right here. This is a link where it says how to divide numbers with decimals. And there is a little YouTube video that will step you through how to work with those types of numbers. Okay, let's get to it. So today, like I mentioned, we're going to use scientific notation to divide. And SBAC review number 14 is due this Friday at 7 p.m. So today, I'd like you to focus only on problems 12 to 20. So you should have already completed 1 through 11 by now. If not, if you have time at the end of the period, please go back and make sure you have all of 1 through 20 completed. And don't forget to mark as done when you're done. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so we've talked about in the past why scientists, astronomers, engineers, mathematicians use scientific notation. And honestly, it's to make our lives easier. Okay, we're always looking for a shortcut, especially if we're dealing with numbers that are so lengthy and large, and lengthy or small in value. It just makes our lives easier. Okay, so one of the ways that we could use division for scientific notation is calculating rates. Okay, our first problem here is one that has to do with Pluto. So light travels at a speed of 1.17 times 10 to the 7th miles per minute, so quite quickly. Pluto's average distance from the sun is 3.67 billion miles. On average, how long does it take sunlight to reach Pluto? This is an example where we would like to keep our answers and our whole problem in scientific notation. So the first thing you might see when I move to the next slide is I got rid of the 3,670,000,000, and I already converted it to scientific notation. So I took a moment and I called this 3.67 times 10 to the 9th power. Okay, so here we go. All right. Our first step when dividing is we're going to go ahead and divide the multiplier. So the numbers in front that you see here in blue. That's probably going to be the hard part of today. Step 2, we're going to use the rules of exponents to subtract your exponents. So remember, when we're dividing numbers with the same base, we're going to go ahead and subtract your exponents. Step 3, as always, is just to make sure that your answer remains in scientific notation if it's asked to be in scientific notation. Okay, so as I divide here, I see that the quotient is going to be approximately 3.13. I think my video is kind of cutting out a little bit on the work that I've uploaded, but if you take a look at the Google Slides, you'll see me step by step how I got that quotient of 3.13. Okay, make sure we're using the method of in and out. I placed 3.67 inside my division symbol. And to deal with those pesky decimals, if you see 1.17 has 2 decimal places, it's in the hundredths place, we're going to go ahead and move those over 2 powers of 10, which means the 3.67 is also going to be moved over 2 powers of 10. Okay, so then we get to treat this as though they're whole numbers. Okay, so take a look at that. Next, the easy part. You're simply going to subtract those exponents. In this case, 9 minus 7 is 2. And we're going to put step 1 and 2 together. In this case, it takes approximately 3.1 times 10 to the second minutes. Okay, if I wanted to expand that out, 310 minutes for light to reach from the sun to Pluto. A little bit of a delay. Okay, second example here, same thing. All right, here's an example where we could actually use scientific notation to approximate population. So we have a table here that shows the country of three different countries, the population of 3 different countries. And we're going to go ahead and compare China and France's population. So we want to know how many times greater the population is in China than it is in France. Okay. Again, I'm going to go back here. So I took China and I took France, and I'm dividing. Okay. Step 1, we're going to go ahead and divide those multipliers, the toughest step. Step 2, we're going to go ahead and use those rules of exponents to subtract our exponents. And lastly, just make sure that it is in fact in scientific notation. Okay. And just after this, I'll go ahead and upload a picture of detailed steps of how I got my quotient. So if I were to divide those two, I get 0.2 or 2/10 approximately. Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, again, my video is kind of blocking it at this point, but just know that the 1.3 is inside the division symbol and 6.48 is on the outside. And I've compensated with those decimals. I moved them over 2 decimal places. Okay, going ahead and using rules of exponents, subtracting 7 from 9 to get 10 to the second power. When I put step 1 and 2 together, I have 0.2 times 10 to the second power. So you're really tempted to walk away here, but you gotta stop, put the brakes on here. That is not in scientific notation. So really, really be careful, be very mindful. 0.2 is not a number that is 1 or larger and less than 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a moment and rewrite this. If I turn this into a 2, if I'm making the multiplier larger, I'm gonna go ahead and make the exponent smaller. So this is really 2 times 10 to the first power, which is a fancy way of saying 20. So China's population is approximately 20 times larger than France's. All right, last example. Okay, we know now we're going to divide those multipliers. Here's a nice easy one. The quotient is 2. They're not all that hard. Okay, rules of exponents say I'm going to find the difference of 21 and 14. That's 7. And I'm putting step 1 and 2 together. Okay, I'm going to stop there because it is in scientific notation, so there's no need for me to continue on with the problem. Okay, so again, please feel free to slow this down or rewatch the slides as many times as you like, and I'm also going to upload additional support videos for you. I would recommend taking a quick little stretch break. And then, like I mentioned, today you really want to focus on numbers 12 through 20 on SBAC review number 14. You must show your work on a piece of paper. You saw how challenging it was for me to model those division steps. So you really, this is not anything that should be done in your head at this point. And don't forget to submit your SBAC review before 7 p.m. on Friday. Have a great day. Toodles.